first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How's everyone doing today? Everyone doing good? Oh, sorry, one sec. I'm just gonna fill up my water. Sorry about that. All right, so hope everyone's doing good today. All right. New Fortnite season is lit. Go check it out. Yeah, I've been meaning to try the new no build Fortnite out, but I'm not Never really been a Fortnite guy. I don't know how to do the building, but now that no build is gaining some popularity, maybe I'll try it out. I don't know. I gotta make money. That's what I gotta do. I gotta focus on making money. Okay, so let's get into the video. So, gonna cover Bitcoin, Ethereum today, primary focus. We're also gonna look at obviously equities, and we'll look at the dollar. I'll do kind of a post-mortem on my silver trade. I took a bunch of profit on that right near the top, which always feels excellent. I'm still bullish on silver overall, so we'll talk about where are some opportunities where you could potentially get involved if you missed the first trade, but we're bullish on it because of the high time frame. What can we do to get involved? What can we do to potentially, get in line with that trend on the low time frame, right? So we'll cover all of that. I had someone message me, I believe in Discord, who was interested in me looking at crude oil. So not something I generally trade, but I will take a look at it because they asked nicely. And then, we'll see how long all of that takes, and we'll kind of decide from there what else we're going to look at. Don't want the stream to be overly too long or anything like that. The volatility is a little bit dry the last week or so there hasn't been a ton going on, but that's okay. So real quick, got to give a shout out to the sponsors of these streams. As you guys know, I've been partnered with Prime XBT. It's coming up on a year that we've been working together. So if you're interested in supporting your boy, which I hope you are, the best way to do that is to use the Prime XBT link in the description, make an account, put some money on there and start taking some trades with me. I do get a kickback on that. That is how I'm compensated, to be fully transparent with you guys, obviously. But I've been working with Prime, had no issues with them. If you're wondering, I get DMs all the time. Mayne, where are you trading SPX? Where are you trading gold? Where are you trading silver? You can trade these commodities and these equities, these equity baskets. You could trade the US 500, the S&P 500 on Prime. So if you ever see me post a chart about gold, silver, the S&P 500, and you want to trade along and follow, and you're not set up on a broker, you can trade those on Prime using crypto. It's no KYC, up to 20K per day withdrawals, and with my code Mayne50, you get up to a 7% deposit bonus. All right, guys? So if you want to support me, use that link, throw some money on there. Really helps me out, and that's also how you get into the free Discord. Show me that you've signed up on Prime with my link and that you're using it, and I will get you in the Discord. All you gotta do is just DM me a screenshot. All the info on how to do that is on my website, tradermayne.com. All right, so we're going to talk about Bitcoin primarily. So we've absolutely rinsed this fucking move so far. So 3 trades, all executed perfectly, all paid perfectly. So we're pretty happy with how Bitcoin has been moving, right? So we had our initial long trade that we took below here. Oh, don't do this to me right fucking now, you piece of shit. Of course you're going to do this to me right now. Stupid computer. I need like a new computer already. I don't understand. This thing's a piece of shit. How is this so fucking laggy? How? How is it that laggy? It's a stupid pen thing, guys. Sorry. I don't know. I might just have to go without it for a video. It's not even going to open now. It's still fucked. Okay, that worked. The old turn off, turn back on. Never fails, except for when it does. All right, sorry about that. So we've absolutely rinsed this, right? We've absolutely rinsed this fucking range. Caught the long on the run of these lows, right? Target was the range high. Saw distribution happening here into supply. Said, I think we move back towards the mid-range with a dip slightly below the mid-range. If you remember, I had that gray box drawn out here. Dip slightly below the mid-range. Everyone was longing into the resistance here. We caught the dip. We took our profit on the next move up, and now we're consolidating again here. So what you need to ask yourself is are we seeing this, right? Is this what's happening here? Are we going to get another move to the upside, or is this distribution and that's the end of this leg and we're going to have a much deeper pullback now, right? So I'm pretty happy with how I've traded these 3 moves here, right? Up, down, up again. And now we're in an area where there's a little bit of uncertainty. Personally, I would like to think that we have the opportunity for one more push to the upside, but I believe it's going to be very dependent on correlated assets in the market, specifically risk assets, and then looking at the dollar. So the dollar has sold off very hard over the last several weeks. This entire run, basically, that we've had on Bitcoin, or at least on equities. Bitcoin looks like shit because of Sam, right? But this entire run on equities, right, since the end of September to now, so that's right, October, November, start of December. It's almost 3 months we've been going up on equities, right? The dollar has fallen precipitously, but it is now coming into support and it's looking kind of bullish on the low time frame. So this is something we have to be aware of, because if the dollar is going to catch a bid and it is going to begin to rally, SPX, right? ES is right into resistance. Bitcoin, right into resistance. All other pairs, right? Euro USD into resistance. GBP USD into resistance. Dollar CAD, the inverse, is at support, right? So all of these things we're looking at, right, could be queuing up for, hey, if this is the end of this rally on equities, we had a nice 20% pump, and this thing's about to roll over, and the dollar's about to rip, guess what? Crypto's going to eat a dick, okay? So you have to be prepared for that. So as much as I would like for us to get one more push up to 18.2, right? So basically, once this initial move happened, closed my longs, I waited, and I said, okay, look what we have here. We have a 12-hour, right, break in market structure. You had this high, right, here, this low to this high, right, get broken here. All right? I wonder if it's on the daily as well. The daily's a little more tricky. So this is going to be an instance where, depending on what time frame you use, it's going to be a little bit trickier, a little bit stickier, I guess you could say, in terms of what you determine as a market structure break. Because on the 12-hour, this candle is 2 candles, and it closed above this high. So that's a bullish market structure break on the 12-hour. But the daily is a bearish swing failure pattern. So generally, in these instances, the high time frame takes precedent over the low time frame, right? However, I'm still operating in the belief that we have one potentially move to the upside. So I'm going to be basing my analysis on this 12-hour price swing from here, okay? This low here to here. This is the price swing that I'm operating in. So I'm not doing some sort of macro high time frame analysis here. I'm literally saying, okay, here's my price swing. Can we get one more extension out of this leg, right? So what I did is we had this SFP here, right? That was your signal to get out of longs. We're now pulling back into where? Demand, right? So we pulled back into demand here, consolidated, and now we're getting a bit of a push away. So if we zoom in, right? Was there a long opportunity within this 12-hour demand? Absolutely, right? Multiple swing failure patterns, clear signs of reaccumulation happening here, and now potentially a bullish break in market structure. So if we're able to maintain, right, this break, effectively, this breakout right here, this is going to be the juice that we need to get one more push to the upside. At the very least, I think we will see back into 17.2 to 17.3. And then how we react up here is going to be the question. Because if you look here, that 12-hour SFP, that originated from this breaker block, right? So to me, if you longed here, you need to TP some here. At least that's how I would do it. Because this is where price will distribute if the top is in. Okay, so if the top is in and we're going to run, I don't know how low, but maybe we're going to run these lows here, let's say, right? Or maybe we're going to come even deeper. I don't know yet. But if that's going to happen, I think it happens from here, okay? And we would look for signs of distribution, right? And that would be your cue to either close out your longs or at least get short for a pullback. So this seems to me to be the area that I'm interested in operating in for now. I don't have a super clear picture high time frame, right? I don't know if we're going back to 25K. I'm not trying to make that kind of prediction, right? Like if you look at the weekly, just not enough data here yet. It's not enough data here for me to plan some sort of big swing trade here, right? It made sense down here to get long based on the PA, but here I just don't have enough yet. A little bit choppy, tight consolidation. So what am I going to do? I'm going to reduce the area that I'm paying attention to, and I'm just going to look for a little trade. So I'm currently long. I got long based on the hourly. Okay, let me get my exact entry here. My entry is not even that good. My entry is 16,945. Yeah, 16,944, excuse me, 0.5. Okay, so I literally am long right from the middle of this little consolidation, and it very simply was based on seeing accumulation here. SFPs of this big low here within the 12-hour demand. That's the entire reason I got long. My stop is below the 12-hour demand. Now that we've broken out here, technically, I could say, okay, well, now I want to enter, more, or I didn't get in enough size. I could look for some sort of pullback here, right, with a stop below one of these lows. If you want something a little tighter, if you're not in yet, that would be the continuation play. But I'm literally playing from, we ran liquidity here. This seems to be the next area of interest to me. Let's see what happens up here. So I'll be closing most of this long into here, and I'll be prepared to flip short or close the rest of it at the very least if we see effectively the inverse of this, right? So if we come up here and we start putting in a bunch of bearish SFPs, right? And then break market structure to the downside. So this is the inverse of this. That will be my sign that this is distribution and we're probably going lower, right? And I'll look to get out. So still a little too early for me to decide, right? I need to see what happens when price gets here. That's what I'm going to be focused on. If we're able to get above this breaker and put in some bullish PA above this previous 12-hour high here, right? So we need to get above this like distribution, this consolidation here. If we're able to be bullish above here, my next target becomes 18.2. Okay? So that is kind of my plan right now. I think we're trading up to here currently. Depending on what happens here, we either queue up for 18.2 or this is probably where we distribute and at the very least run out these lows at 16,600, maybe a little lower. I know a lot of people had charts that were looking for a run of these lows before a move up. I don't know. It could still happen. We could just dump off here, right? We could be doing something like this, right? Accumulation, manipulation, expansion, power of 3, right? Accumulation, manipulation, expansion. Maybe that's what's going to happen here, right? I don't know yet. It's very fun to post these things, and then if they work out, you post it again, and you go like, oh my God, look, I nailed it, right? But this is not a trade. This is not a trade. This is an idea. This might help you get a bias, but this in itself is not a trade. There's a few things I could tell you about this that could help you formulate a trade around it, but we'll save that for another video. Okay, so we're going to wait and see. Like I said, I think probably push up to 17.2, 17.3 right here, probably into Asia this evening. And then I will decide what's going to happen, okay, from there. I'm not going to decide. I'm going to let the market decide, and then I'm going to react because that is how I trade. Did I just lose all my drawings? No. What the heck? But I can't even press back. I didn't even do anything. Oh, that's a bummer. What if I... What if I do this? Oh God, that's not the one I want. Oh no, I've been rugged. I've been rugged. I've been rugged like you wouldn't believe. I just lost all my drawings. Okay, oh well. So, any questions about that? Any questions in the chat, guys? Let me know. Okay, sorry, I'm redrawing all this shit right now. I'm redrawing all my shit. Okay. All right, and we had this, right? Okay, I'm gonna check the chat here for questions, guys, real quick. Of course. What's up, Joshua, Kyle, Cliff, Six Paz, Matt, what's going on, homies? Charlie, what's up, bro? Victor, what's going on, man? Cornholio says sound is low. All right, let me know, guys, if it's any better. What's up, CMDR? What's up? Get your bands up. BitBoy in the house. I have a feeling not the real one. How's the liquidity on Prime? It's okay. You know, it's not Bybit, it's not, you know, Binance, but it's okay. It's not bad. For most people, it's more than enough, right? But if you're trading like really big size, DM me, let me know, and I can get you set up with like a affiliate account at another exchange, get you like a good rebate on your fees. If you still want to help me out, of course, you don't have to. But yeah, if you're trading big size, like big size, right? I wouldn't trade on Prime per se. But for the majority of people, the liquidity is totally fine. Ponzi trader, why do you hate you? Because you got shrimp for brains, bro. Obviously. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate that, homie. Jesus Christ. BitBoy with just the stream of literally redacted questions. Are you bullish or bearish? What indicator do you use? What's a swing failure pattern? Each of those has a spelling mistake in them as well. Do you trade on Prime XBT? I do. So, I mean, listen, before FTX, I have money on several centralized exchanges. The problem is I had too much money on FTX. The point of leverage, the number one reason to use leverage is to reduce counterparty risk. So if you have 100 Bitcoins that you own, you can deposit 10 Bitcoins on an exchange, and utilizing leverage of 10x, you can open positions equivalent to your entire 100 Bitcoin portfolio, right? That's the point of leverage. It's to reduce counterparty risk. Now you have access to larger size without having to keep all of that collateral on the exchange, right? So the mistake that I made was I had too much money on FTX, right? But I've always used multiple exchanges. I use Prime, I use Bybit, I use Binance for a variety of reasons, especially during the bull run, right? Well, where are you trading altcoins, right? Probably on, well, maybe KuCoin, and then maybe they get on Binance, right? Like there's certain exchanges offer certain pairs, certain coins that others don't, right? So if you do what I do and you trade on chain, right? I'm not a DeFi guy really. I need to have money on multiple exchanges, and different exchanges have different shit on them, right? But if you're worried about exchanges right now, if you're worried about that, which I completely don't, it's a very warranted worry. By all means, don't put too much on there, right? I'm now like a robot. I have a new rule where if my account gets X% over the starting balance, I withdraw that. and I go back to that starting balance. That's what I used to do back in the day, especially with Forex and when I was trading at prop firms, like I traded at FTMO and shit like that, where you do like a profit split and shit. Anytime my account grew, I would withdraw and I'd go back to the baseline. So I had a 200K account. If you got to 250, 50K out, back to 200, right? Because what that prevented me from doing was getting way too cocky when my account grew to 250, 300, 400,000. All of a sudden I'm taking bigger and bigger trades. Yes, the account value has grown, right? But I didn't need to, right? I had more money than I needed on FTX for the type of trading that I was doing, right? That was the mistake that I made. But yeah, if you want access to the tools and the things that centralized exchanges offer, which I do, because that's how I like to trade, that's absolutely a risk. Appreciate that, crypto BTH. Kyle Lamb says, when deciding to get long on a level after it's been retested, such as that 1 hour low after the SFP, how do you decide to long? I want to see something like this happen. I want to see lows get taken out, right? And then I want to see a high get broken after. Because if we have a low that gets run, and then we break the high that took out that low, right? To me, this is one of my bullish triggers that I'm looking for. It's as simple as that. That's what I'm looking for here, right? We got the SFP. No break, no break. Another SFP. Now we got a break, right? But technically, you could wait for this level to break to get bullish because this is the initial high that drove to that initial low, right? It's up to you. But this was enough for me. These multiple SFPs here to at least punt along, right? Because my risk is well defined, right? Entry slightly better, 44.5, right? Like I'm willing to take that trade all day. Mayne, have you ever used NPOC and POC? If so, do you find it useful? Never used them. Thanks, Drew. What's up, bro? Mayne, how do kill zones work? Any way I can learn them? The kill zone thing is like an ICT thing that people think is this like magic voodoo. I really like this Tradinator guys. Tradinator guys, kill zone. Where is he? Where is he? Where's Tradinator? Oh, did I not favorite it? Tradinator. Tradinator. There you go. So all this is, right, is your days of the week and then a couple key prices, but then it's really just time, right? So this is the Asia session, right? So this is the London session, right, which starts at 2 a.m. New York time, right, because it's 5-hour difference, I believe, right? Here's New York. So the actual trading session starts later in the day, right? But the kill zone, ICT is like an hour or it's an hour and a half, I can't remember exactly, before the New York session is oftentimes, when you'll get a setup form, right? Or you're going to get the setup form, during Asia, we generally get consolidation, right? And then look, here's Asia. Here's a example of like a kill zone setup. You have your Asian range, right? New York session, we run the low of Asia, and then we're bullish for the remainder of the day, right? That could be using the kill zone. But really what it is it's just the timing of the sessions. He adds a little bit of time before the session for the kill zone. And it's just when the market is volatile, right? When is the most volatile period of time in the market? Probably when both New York and London, right, are trading at the same time. That's probably when you get the most volume, right? The most volatility. But that's all it really is. It's just time. So ICT teaches a ton about not just price, but the idea of price in combination with time. So what you'll find when you're studying ICT specific concepts, a lot of his trades are based around not just a chart pattern, but a certain thing happening with price at a certain time of day, whether that be during the London session or the New York session. He has strategies for all of the different time zones. Staff Toshi says, Mayne, you blocked me on Twitter for a joke when I was a white boy wasted. Free me from purgatory. Must have been not that funny. Sorry, bro. I'm very petty. DM me. Well, I guess you can't DM me because you're blocked. Leave in the chat. I'll try and look for it. Your Twitter name, and I will unblock you, bro. Cornholio. Every comment you've left so far, super stupid. I'm not going to read them. Shut the fuck up. All right, so I think everyone is understanding what the fuck I'm talking about on Bitcoin, right? So hopefully we get this continued push here. We're going to watch, right, as this stream progresses. What happens? We got a nice little pump to the upside now. Broke a couple of highs. Let's see if we can now get one more push to where I want to take profit on my long and then potentially see what happens here. But right now, the plan for Bitcoin is if you're not in a trade, probably sit on your hands and wait. I think you either, if you're not in a trade now, I think you want to see what happens here, right? For a potential long lower, right? So we could see it move down into here, right? We have this little liquidity void with a bunch of lows underneath it. So maybe we don't even push up this high. But ideally, something that could be sweet would be this, right? Move up into here, then down into here. There's your accumulation. Here's your manipulation. This is where we want to be a buyer. And then we'll get the expansion. That would be a cool little power of 3. But again, I think it's going to rely very heavily on what dollar and equities do for the rest of the week. But that's kind of my plan, is either one more deeper pullback and then up to 18.2, or if we can get above here, 18.2 from here. But I am prepared for this thing to just roll the fuck over if equities look like shit and the dollar continues to rally. So that's what we're going to be watching. Be very interesting to see how equities open in the morning, right? There's a weird ass sound. I think that's my fucking washing machine. One sec. Sorry, I have one of those washing machines that sounds like a fucking SpaceX rocket taking off anytime it's fucking turned on and starts to go to spin cycle. Okay, so I think everyone has a good understanding of my thoughts on Bitcoin. Do you think CT retail is as dead as it's gonna get? Feel like the only people left plan to stick around regardless. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, right? If you have money, you're still in the game, right? So that's the most important thing. It's like, do you still have money? Are you still able to trade? Are you still able to accumulate and, participate in the market? But yeah, generally, I think a lot of retail interest in crypto is, massively dying or dead. And this FTX fiasco, literally, I think there's 1 million affected customers, right? So that's a lot of people. And there's going to be a lot of people who are now hesitant, right? Talking to my normie friends, the most common thing right now, like I have a lot of friends who had money on FTX, maybe not large amounts, but still, they had their fucking name on F1 cars and arenas, and they had Tom Brady and all these celebrities backing it, right? Like, so there's this question of like, well, is crypto even safe? Like, I don't even know. Like, I got scammed, or they got scammed because of BlockFi became insolvent as well. So I think that it's definitely pretty dead here right now. But again, it could remain dead for a very long time, right? Part of the bear market is the price decline. The other part of the bear market is just the long sideways lack of volatility, right? Not fun either. Do you ever fear your methods will stop working in the future? No, not at all. Because what I do is not right 100% of the time. And no matter how much I share shit with people, 99% of people will never put in the amount of work necessary to do what I do correctly. So it doesn't matter, right? I get that question a lot. Like, do you worry about edge erosion? I'm like, no, right? Like, we are the smallest of fucking fries in this fucking game, bro. The smallest of fries. Trust me. SBF should be in jail. I completely agree. Airplane taking off. Yeah, sorry guys. It is the washing machine. What's up, Phil, the Flying Frenchman? Thanks for joining us. All right, so let's look at Ethereum real quick. So Ethereum, to me, right, like the breakout was clean as fuck, right? But we ran the highs that we wanted to see run, right? But we had the same 12-hour range. This just gave you a beautiful, retest of the mid-range. I mean, that was, picture perfect retest here. We do have these equal lows, basically, right? That I think a lot of people have their eyes on, right? But I think the thing that you wanted to watch here, right? This low to this high, 20%. This low to this high, almost half. Just over half, excuse me. Right? 20% versus 12%, what that? Like this is like 60% of the Ethereum move. So Ethereum had a massively outsized move to Bitcoin, almost 2x. The clue, right? Obviously this, but the real clue is this, right? Equal lows here, lower lows here. That divergence into the lows here, I should have picked up on that. When Ethereum did not make a lower low, but Bitcoin did, that should have been the clue that I wanted to long Ethereum instead of Bitcoin, because Ethereum was bullishly diverging. This is not an RSI divergence. This is a different divergence. Ethereum was bullishly diverging from Bitcoin. Okay? But looking at Ethereum here on the 12-hour chart, what do we have now? What is the most clear range? It's this, right? So if I want to get rid of this range, I want to now say, okay, this is my new range. Okay? Well, looking at Ethereum, it looks like it probably wants to come lower before going higher, right? So that would be very similar to this initial Bitcoin trade here, right? What did I want to see? Back below the 50%. Same thing here. If this is our price swing, the ideal long entries are going to form below the 50% mark. It doesn't have to. We could pump from here, right? It does not have to. But the high probability longs, the ones that I want to take, the ones that are going to have the best risk reward and give me the highest expectancy in an uptrend, right? Those form, this is your range, this is your mid-range right here, your 50. Those retracements that go deeper than the 50, those are the ones I like getting into. Those are the ones I like. So you see the 61.8, 70.5, 76.8, right? Those pullbacks that everyone's always marking, right? The fibs, the OTE, all that shit. All it is just a range, right? And it's highlighting the area below, right? So if I want to see a pullback, oh, it pulled back right into the OTE. What is the OTE? It's just below the 50%, right? It's just below the 50%. So if I were to put that regular fib on here, right, where do you think I ideally want to long Ethereum? Right? Below the 50%, there's those levels right there. Okay? Is there confluent price action, okay, in that area? I say yes. Right? I say probably this. up candle for down move that took out a low. This seems to be the area that I would want to look to long Ethereum. This would be similar to Bitcoin coming into here. So those would be the two buy the dip areas, in my opinion, based on the current PA on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin longs between 16.5 to 16.7, right? Ethereum, we're looking at like 1200 to 1220. That's the buy the dip zone on those two coins, in my opinion. If we're going to see continuation to the upside, I want to see, this kind of thing. That would be the next leg if we see continuation to the upside. Now, what worries me about this whole thing is if you go over to equities here, right? Like, we're literally smack into weekly resistance here, okay? This up move, right? Before the move down, this is your bearish order block, these up candles here, right? So if I go to the daily, you could grab one, I guess, if you want. But the weekly, right, is all of these candles. That weekly bearish order block, this, right? It's all of these candles on the daily. It's all of these candles on the 12-hour. That's your order block, your bearish order block. So we're into that high time frame resistance, right, on equities. Banged into it, pulled back, right? So the question is, does equities have one more leg up? Is there more juice in the tank for this rally? And what worries me, right, is if you look at these previous rallies, 12%, 10%, I think this was the biggest one here. Almost 20%, right? But we're getting towards those levels. We're almost at 20% already on this rally. That's a big bear market rally, okay? So big rally looking an awful lot like this one into high time frame resistance. This could be the top of the equities move. So that's my biggest concern for crypto and for risk in general, is that we're coming into high time frame resistance, okay? Coming into high time frame resistance, and there's a potential here that this is the end of this rally, right? Now, I would like to actually see one more push. I would like to see one more push above this high into here. So this would be my one more leg up scenario, which is we actually get one more push, and then this is where we top. And that's the juice that gets Bitcoin to 18 whatever, and Ethereum higher as well. But we need to see this have sustained strength and the ability to go higher. Because right now, right, if you look at this on the low time frame, we came into the level, we rejected, and we sold off. Now, we are putting in some bullish SFP here. We just did on the 12-hour. So that's something you could watch. Right? But we need to see what happens here. This needs to be watched very closely for the coming days to determine if we're going to have continuation on the upside on risk, right? If this is the top, Bitcoin is going lower and Ethereum is going much lower as well. Like, if this is going to trade back down now, that's all very bad news, right? Like, we have a huge gap in price here that could get filled in way down into here. And if that happens, Bitcoin's going back to the range lows. Okay? So same thing, right? The inverse. We now have the dollar, which has been falling, right? Extremely hard. 10% almost down into high time frame demand. Weekly order block that kind of caused this entire rally. We're now trading back into that. We'll also back into this kind of old range high here. So what you need to see happen now on the dollar, this is all assuming we want to see risk, crypto, trade higher, is we need the dollar to roll over and trade lower still. Okay, but what's worrisome is we've now traded into this high time frame demand, and as you can see, we've taken out some lows, right? We took out this major low, we took out this low, and now we're trading back above it, right? That's worrisome for risk bulls, is if this is able to maintain and reclaim kind of, this floor here, then this is likely going to trade higher, which is going to send risk lower. So this is the battle right now. This is what I was talking about at the start. Dollars at support, right? XPX, resistance. Ethereum and Bitcoin at resistance. Look at other stuff. Euro USD, right? Oh, I got fucking screwed on this. Look at that. Look at that travesty right there, boys. So I actually tried to short this last night. I sent this to Cred in DMs saying I wanted to short this. Again, weekly resistance. Okay. Zoomed in. I said, okay, we're in a weekly resistance here. I tried to get a little cheeky short going. It did not get filled. But again, this, right, is denominated by dollars. So if dollars at support and this is at resistance, this is a high probability area to look for a short. Same goes for gold, silver, equities, crypto, right? All of those are denominated effectively against the dollar, right? So if you're trading this asset bullishly and this one's at support, you need to pay attention. So that's what we're watching this week. I'm really looking to see, okay, what does Bitcoin do here in the short term? Are we going to get a move higher, hopefully, so I can close some of my long here? What is going to happen here? How does things look tomorrow? We just had an SFP after a big sell-off. Maybe we get some relief here. Dollar potentially reclaiming support. Silver, right? We crushed this trade. Took out my target. I said the top would be 23.50. It went to 23.51. Okay, but now we're coming into potential bullish support here, right? So we had that big move here. So I actually like looking for reasons to be bullish on silver still. I still think this has more to go just based on the monthly setup. Obviously that candle's ugly, but it's only the 6th day of the month. There's a lot of time to fix that candle. I think this monthly setup is really strong. And looking at the weekly, we have this weekly bullish order block here. So I'm still looking at reasons to potentially get bullish on silver, right? We ran these lows here, right? Look at the respect of the lows into this fair value gap here. So I don't know. Could you long silver now with a stop here? Maybe. But might want to wait for a few more, price bars to play out before you decide. But silver's in an interesting area. Silver to me is at support. Whereas equities is at resistance very clearly. Dollar is at support very clearly. So these are all the things I'm trying to juggle and trying to determine, my bias for the markets. But the easiest thing to do is just say, where is the next most obvious level of liquidity, right? Ran these highs. Maybe these lows are next, right? Could be that simple. And then what? Ran these lows, what's next? These highs. Okay? But the whole point is I want to know where the liquidity is, like this. Because if I know where the liquidity is and we run it, I can now frame a long here targeting the next area of most obvious liquidity, right? Okay, we ran this. I think this is the next likely area that we're going to go. We've now run this. Okay, now where do we go from here? Right? But if you start thinking of, okay, where did the liquidity just get taken from? And then where is the most obvious place for it to go next? You can build an entire strategy around that. And you don't even need to know your high time frame bias if you're doing it on the low time frame. If you say an hourly low has been taken, okay, now you can target an hourly high. Within that, where that hourly low got taken, you could be on the 5-minute chart looking for reasons to get bullish towards that hourly high. and you don't even know what the daily is doing, right? That's totally possible. But I like to do business at these extremes, right? No different than the range itself. I want to do business at the extremes of the range. I don't want to do business at the middle. I want to do business in the upper 1/3, right? And the lower 1/3, or on occasion, deviations out the either side, right? Because to me, that's your liquidity run. Okay, where's the next obvious area? 1, 2. Now I have my bias and I'm framing all my shorts here, right? Reverse here. If I'm like, okay, liquidity run, target 1, target 2. Now I know my bias is bullish. So it can be really that easy in terms of trying to figure out, what your bias is. I think it's one of the things people struggle with the most is, are we going up or down? What is the most obvious level that just got run? Was it to the upside or to the downside? And where is the inverse of that level? So if we just took out a major 12-hour swing high, where's the next 12-hour swing low? That could potentially be the next draw. Okay, there's your bias. And again, my entire strategy operates on this literally happening. Us getting below a level and getting back above it, this is where I want to fucking do business, right? And the inverse obviously for a high, right? If I have a high, we trade above that high and then we're back within it. This is where I want to do business. My entire strategy is based on these two scenarios effectively, all relative to different time frames. That was a very long rant, and I don't know exactly what I fucking covered. T Bullet says, I want to offer a promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, views, chatbots. The price is lower than any competitor, and the quality is guaranteed to be the best. That is quite a guarantee. Go to dogehype.com. If you think I'm going to dogehype.com, you're fucking crazy. Do you use USDT as a stablecoin, or do you like others? I have USDT and I have USDC. I also have some BUSD because it's like a necessary thing to have to use Binance. But yeah, I use both. I use multiple stables. My stables are diversified. I'm not nearly smart enough to be able to explain the FUD or the potential reasons why either of the stablecoins might implode. All I know is if the stablecoins go down, the market is irreversibly fucked for so long, in my opinion, that I have to believe that they're not Ponzi's. Because if they are, well, then we're fucked. Hopefully you've been collecting some real money as well. TN says, what's an SFP? And BitBoy says, I already asked. Bro, I have a video, okay, called All of My Trading Techniques. It's a 12-minute video, okay? And I cover all of this stuff. The idea of that video was so I didn't have to answer questions every stream about the same thing. Go watch this video. It's the first video on my page here. Everything you need to know to master price action trading. It's 8 minutes, okay? That's not very long. You definitely have the time, okay? I cover SFPs, order blocks, fair value gaps, ranges, all of the keywords that I talk about, liquidity, that you might be confused, they're in that video. Answered with video examples and charts, okay? If you've watched that video and you're still struggling, then by all means, feel free to ask again, but I suggest checking out that video, and I think a lot of your questions will get answered because I have a lot of info packed in there. My editor did a really good job on that one. Why don't you use Teal Street? I don't even know what that is. Do you have a cold? I've been getting over a cold for the last 2 weeks. What is a swing trade? Oh my goodness, guys. This is devolving. Okay. A swing trade to me is just a higher time frame trade, right? So to me, anything that happens on maybe the 4-hour chart and above, I would consider a swing trade, right? Because if a 4-hour chart, generally it's going to take multiple days for that position to resolve. Anything really below there, when you're looking at the hourly, the 30-minute, you're using those low time frames to execute, you're in and out of the trade in the same day within a couple hours, I consider those day trades. So anything that's within a few days, like within the same day, so you're in at 8 a.m. and you're out by 2 p.m., that kind of thing, I consider that a day trade, right? Anything where you're carrying a position over multiple days, right? 1 to 2 to 3 days. A day trade could still be 1 day, I guess, but 2-3 days, higher time frame charts, right? I consider that swing trading. Position trading to me would be multi-week, right? Multi-week holds, right? So you're like, I'm bullish on Bitcoin for the next 6 weeks, the next 6 months. That to me is considered position trading. Bro, you're like the most patient person ever. Don't I know it, bro? Don't I know it? But I genuinely enjoy helping people. And I do think there's a lack of people who are willing to answer the basic questions. And as much as it can be frustrating because I answer the same questions over and over and over again, I do believe that if I didn't find people like me back when my journey started, I never would have gotten to where I got today, right? That's why I have the Discord. That's why I do these videos, because people have questions, right? And you can watch a video, but you might have a question about that video and you want answers. So I'm trying to help people out and just pay it forward. How long have you been using Smart Money Concepts and ICT? I've been using it a little while now. I really enjoy your content as a fellow SMC ICT guy. I've been using ICT Concepts since 2016. It's not everything that I do. I learned a ton from ICT. I took things that I liked and I adapted them to my own style. Most of the terminology I use are ICT terms because that was one of the main places I learned early on. I don't agree with everything that he says, but I do use a lot of his techniques and I agree with a lot of what he says. And I'm of the mindset that he absolutely is a fucking excellent trader. I think the proof's been in the pudding. So I got nothing but respect for him. I know he gets a lot of hate. I don't really give a shit. Because it works for me. Gilberto, Mayne, on the 1 hour for BTC, would it be possible to look at that as an MSB? Yeah, we were talking about that, right? Okay. Ideally, it depends what high, right? What high is the most relevant one? Well, to me, I think this is the setup here, right? You might not get that fill. But that could potentially be what you're talking about, but it might just go up from here. We don't know. But yeah, technically that's an MSB on the 1 hour of this high, right? But well, where's the ultimate low? What decides? Blah, blah, blah. That's kind of up to you. But, this is your hourly swing from this low to here. This is technically your hourly structure high that needs to get clapped. So maybe a little higher and then a pullback, but relative to this SFP setup here, yes. Thoughts on CBD? Looking to use it in my system. I don't use it, so my thoughts are non-existent. I'm sorry. Mayne, when another collab stream with CBS or another bro? Yeah, I should definitely do that. More. I do enjoy doing the joint streams. I'm just lazy and I don't stick to schedules very well. So I guess I'm in a good business for that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I love doing it with CBS. I think CBS is really fucking smart and he's a great trader. So if he wants to do it, let's go. Come on. Get here, baby. Make me look smart on stream. When you were learning, were you motivated to keep at it, or were you always, you want to spell word, W-E-R-E, not where, were you always disciplined to continue to learn consistently? I mean, when I first started trading, I was fucking hooked, right? Like I would be at work and I would be looking at charts. I'd be on fucking baby pips and YouTube and watching videos. Like, I was fucking addicted. Like, it got me in trouble. I was doing it so much because my boss would walk by and I'm like looking at fucking charts instead of, you know, doing tax returns. So I was addicted, and then I got home and I would just consume hours and hours and hours of content, because to me, I was like, hey, like, if there's a method to this madness, I can print money on the internet. What's a cooler job than that? So that was all the motivation I needed to really get stuck in. But I definitely have periods where you lose that motivation. I mean, that's life, right? You get into flow states. Those can last days, weeks, hours. You don't know, right? But initially, my drive was extremely fucking hard and high. And then when I started seeing success, it motivated me even more. But then when I started having success, it definitely, I think, let me rest on my laurels a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I love it. I love doing this, right? So that's why I do it. Still doing the videos with Luke. I want to get back to doing those. We had a little bit of an issue with the sponsor that we're resolving right now. So I put a pause on the videos for the time being because I didn't want Luke, or my editor to be working for free. But I would like to get those going again because I did enjoy those videos and I thought they were good. What's the lowest time frame candles you look at? I'll go all the way down to the minute, right? I've been all the way down to the minute before. You know what I mean? Like, you can find trades on literally any time frame here, right? So, like, you could literally have a short setup that prints like this based on the minute, right? Or let's actually do here. Let's do this. Right? So here. Okay. Ready? So I'm going to show you a minute entry to catch this. Okay, we're down at the 5 minute now. Another SFP here. There's your break in market structure. Okay, there's your entry based on the 5 minute chart, right? So you enter at the breaker. We won't even cheat it. We were underwater for a bit. Stop at the low. Right, you're already at 2R. 2R even to right now. Right, so that's a little 5 minute entry, right? Based on the 1 hour run of the low, blah, blah, blah. You could refine this even lower down to the minute. And you could say, okay, well, here is an entry on the minute right here. Here's your swing high. Right, here's your swing high. There's your order block, right? So this is that 1 hour SFP. You're now down on the minute chart, refining your entry down, right? I mean, this was very clearly the propulsion block, right? Here's your major SFP, comes all the way back in, fills in this fair value gap, tags the order block. So it could be a 1 minute entry, right? There's so many different ways you can get in. But the whole point was, okay, we took the hourly liquidity out. Now I'm operating with a move up, right? We took out the low. Now I'm looking to trade back into some highs, right? So if we took out this hourly low for that setup, right? We took out this hourly low. Where's the next obvious draw, right? To me, it's these highs right here. And look what happens. Takes out the low, trades through the highs. Okay, now maybe we're taking out these. So if we get some sort of low time frame breakdown here, that could be your opportunity to flip short. But you can do this. My setup, right, was based on the 12 hour and the hourly. But that setup I just showed you was the hourly and the 5 minute, right? So as long as you have that top-down analysis, right, where you're starting with the high time frame, moving your way down to the low time frame, and your bias is determined on the high time frame. Your area of interest is determined on the high time frame, and then you're using that low time frame to execute on that idea. That's going to give you killer setups. I'm really hoping to finish that market structure video this week. I'm sorry it's been such a delay. Mayne, what do you think about DXY turning the 5-year resistance into support means for crypto? I mean, OBS bearish as fuck, but do you think it's gonna do you think things are gonna rally and DXY stall until December ends? Personally, think Goblin Town's coming. I want to hear your opinion. Check the DXY daily chart. I already covered DXY at this stream. I agree with you. It's at support, right? We have this range high here that we broke above, and now we're retesting. We've got this weekly bullish order block. Right? So again, if you're a bull for risk, what you don't want to see is this thing start trading bullishly, which it might be doing. It came in and it tagged support, got a nice move away, and that looks like we're going to open up to start the day. So something to be aware of, right? If this is able to hold this floor and hold this area of support, that's bad for Bitcoin for sure. When you enter a trade, do you ever worry about reversal at supply and demand zones or only at extreme supply and demand zones? I don't really fully understand that question. Usually my targets are based on levels of liquidity, right? So if I'm long, I'm looking to close that long into previous highs and lows. Like if I longed dollar down here, my immediate target is here. These highs, right? And then probably up into here. Right? Same thing with Bitcoin, right? So if I'm long from down here, where am I looking to take profit? Into previous highs, right? Because if you're moving the market, if you are accumulating longs down here, right? How do you close out these long orders as price starts trading up? Into what? Right? Into sell side. Right? You need to sell or into buy side, excuse me. If I'm long, right? I need people to buy my long positions off me for me to distribute, right? So as you get out of a short, what is above here? Right? Buy stops. That's buy orders, right? So people are then buying by either getting blown out or they're chasing the move or they're getting blown out on their shorts. And that allows you to distribute the longs that you accumulated. You need people to buy those longs off of you, right? It's the reverse on the short side, right? So if you've accumulated a bunch of shorts here, what is down here, right? How do you get out of a long into a sell, right? So it's the exact opposite, right? If you're long from down here, what do you have below here? You have a sell stop, right? So as price declines, right, you need people to fucking sell into you for you to close out your short position, right? So that's what it is, right? That's the reason why liquidity works how it works, at least in my understanding of it and how I apply it. It's like if I'm long down here, right? I need to get people to buy my long positions. Trades Mayne, bro. What are you trying to do? You trying to steal my name? Trades Mayne, that's my name. Mayne, if we get a decent squeeze high, will you short? I mean, listen, I'm looking at this right now as the area where I wanted to short up here, but we might not even get it. That might have been it, right? I just talked about this while I was doing that low time frame shit. That might be it. So if you're watching this on the low time frame, if we now get some breakdown here, right, you could probably short it. I was hoping, though, that we would trade up into here. So we'll wait and see. But if we trade down below this low, you could short with your stop here, target these lows down here. Thanks, Joseph. Appreciate that, man. I know, but this guy's name is Trades Mayne. I know, but he's like, no, you're Trader. I'm Trades Mayne. Okay, bro. Sounds like you're using something that's one letter off from my name so you can scam people pretending to be me. But we'll assume that you're not a bad person. Thanks, Max. Thanks for tuning in. Max Chill 93. Yeah, sure. Let's look up what's his fucking name? Spaceman. Where's our boy Spaceman BTC? Wait, is this what I want or no? What the fuck is this? No, this is not what I want. Not what I want. I want just his regular levels. When did Spaceman add all of these additional levels? And how did I not save his good one? Key levels. Here we go. Yeah, so someone just pointed this out, right? We're rejecting right off the weekly open. Right? Where's the weekly open? Right, happens to be right next to that high. So we'll see. Again, I would like one more push up ideally, but if this is it, right? If this breaks down here, I'll probably close my long and reassess. Thank you, Six Pass. I appreciate that, bro. Mayne, how do you feel about the CT hanging with BitBoy? Listen, at the end of the day, you know, I think there's a very clear effort by a guy like BitBoy using this SAM, SBF, FTX situation to his advantage, right? Because it's a lot easier, right, for him to be like, hey, I'm the crypto crusader hero. I'm going to nail Sam to the wall. Listen to what he's saying. He's got a bill with Congress. He's going to work with the government. So he's like, fuck that guy. I'm going to do it. It's like, well, I don't want any of you doing it. You know what I mean? But also he's playing this hero, right? I told you so. I told everyone, blah, 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 which is, you know, he was on it before me. So props to him. I even DM'd him saying, hey, you know, because he told people to get his money off there before it all happened. So, you know, props to him. Does that erase the bad shit that he's done? No, right? He's also taken paid promos, like extensively, been caught dumping on his followers, pumping garbage, all that bad shit that the Moon Carls and the Cryptos does. He did it. Now, has he done it recently? Right? He says he hasn't done a paid promo in forever. He's not doing altcoin picks. Let's see if he keeps that same energy, right, when the bull run resumes. Because right now, those deals are dead anyways. You're not doing paid promos because there's nothing to promote, right? Everything's dying. Everything's in the shitter. So perhaps he's had a change of heart. I'm not going to hold anything against anyone. A lot of the heroes on CT, right, were greasy scammers 2 cycles ago, and just enough time has passed that they're not viewed as that anymore. Right? A lot of people have done some fucking bad shit you wouldn't even believe, but it just happened so long ago, people kind of don't give a shit anymore. And I think BitBoy is using this to kind of put distance between what he did in the past and who he is now. But I'm not holding it against people's ability to change, but we also don't want to forget, you know, what has happened in the past and use that to inform your future decisions. I'm of the mindset that you need to get scammed and fucked over in crypto to learn lessons, right? That's part of the game. That's part of life. It's not fair. There's people who are out to take what's yours, to drink your milkshake, to eat your lunch. There's people who are going to pretend to be your friend and then stab you in the back. There's people who are going to pretend to sell you something that is good and saying it's good, and it's going to be a bag of shit. Like, that's life, and that's also trading, and that's part of this industry. And I think it's what makes you an OG. It's what gives you these battle scars and these stories is, hey man, I survived this hack, this implosion, rugged on this. That's what builds you into the person that you are in this space. And it also teaches you very important lessons, right? You need to make, it's no different than life, right? You need to make the mistakes yourself. You know, I got a younger brother who's always calling me, asking for advice about this, that, and the other thing. I can tell him exactly what to do. Do this, say this, don't do that, da-da-da-da-da. He doesn't listen. It doesn't work out how he wanted. And he goes, fuck, if I would have listened to you, everything would have worked out. But there's no lesson there, right? I can tell him all he wants. You kind of just need to experience it yourself. So I am of the mindset that, you know, there's, you know, letting BitBoy say and do what he wants, right? You're not going to get screwed by by a guy like that more than once, right? You buy Casta from Moon Carl, it goes to zero, right? It goes down 99%. He's not even on the website anymore. You're probably not going to buy his next project. You know what I mean? And if you are, well, that's your fucking fault, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? So I definitely think that's something that, you know, you have to, you know, take into consideration. Yeah, Crude. Who is my go-to for crypto fundamentals? I don't really look at fundamentals. I have a lot of friends who are a lot smarter than me about that stuff that I'll just tail. But I don't even, you know, like Altcoin Psycho is great for that. What am I doing? I'm typing in crypto. That's not what I want. Okay, so. God, remember this? Remember when it went to zero? Crazy times. What a crazy couple of years has it been, hey? Okay, so weekly, right? We're just shy of that order block there. Monthly, do we got any juice? Yeah, we're within this big monthly order block. Okay. I know this is huge, but we're going to work our way down. We're going to drill our way down. Drill our way down to something of use, okay? Okay. I think, you know what? I think this is in an interesting spot. Potentially interesting spot here. We've got some very clear lows here that have been run, right? So what I would probably say is above here, what's this, 76.31? Above there, I think good reason to be bullish. We're within a monthly bullish order block. You've got daily bullish order block here. You've got some daily SFPs. You got a clear price floor that's been traded below, right? So if we're able to get back above here, right, then by all means, I think this could be, you know, bullish for crude to trade higher. But need to get back above this kind of 76 area, I would say, would be what I'd be looking at. Yeah. I'd want to see it get above this right here. Mayne, is it still worth trading crypto? ES has been trading much cleaner. I mean, listen, you want to be trading whatever you have the best read on, right? Sometimes I'm just dialed in with Ethereum. Even though Bitcoin might be outperforming, I'm just dialed and it's just trading clean, right? That is something to consider as well. But wherever the volatility is and wherever you can find the best trade setup in terms of how clean the chart is, the best risk reward, just your read on it in general, that's what you should trade, right? But to me, ES and Bitcoin still trade relatively lockstep, right? So, if you're finding it easier to read ES, which I think it is easier to read ES right now relative to, Bitcoin because of the whole FTX debacle, then by all means, fucking rip it. Yeah. All right, guys. I think this is getting to where I want to end the video. I mean, I think we're gonna see what happens. I got to get ready for basketball soon. Men's league is back, baby. So we'll see what happens on Bitcoin here. That might have been it. That weekly test might have been it. So let's wait and see. That's an ugly looking candle on the 15. If we break structure here, which it looks like it might, that might be the extent of the move. We might come shy of my target, and that's okay, right? I don't always have to get it right. I have no problem getting shit wrong. And let's wait and see. We might get a short opportunity, but ultimately those buy the dip areas are lower, right? So if that is it on the upside here, and we're going to sell off lower and run these lows, this is where I'm looking to bid Bitcoin. And this is where I'm looking to bid on Ethereum. Okay. Didn't get an SFP. Ethereum's just definitely stronger. But, got a little bit of an SFP here. We'll have to wait and see. Wait and see. I'll let a few more candles unfold for the rest of the evening before I make some decisions. But yeah, I gotta go get ready for B-ball. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, anything like that, you want to join my Discord, you can DM me on Twitter. If you've been DMing me on Twitter and I haven't responded, just follow up. DM me again. I get a ton of DMs every day, so they get buried very quickly. So just follow up with me. I have no problem, and I will do my best to get back to you. If you want to join the Discord, the instructions to do so are on tradermayne.com. And I will be